Hello everyone. Well, where has August gone? It's now September, and today is the Monday, the 6th of September 2021. September, of course, in Latin means seventh month, which of course it was until Julius Caesar and Augustus came along and decided they wanted a month named after themselves. So that's why September is now the 9th month of the calendar, and coincidentally it is the only month that has 9 letters in its name. Something very silly there, but the Anglo-Saxons called September Gerstmoneth, which means barley month, because at this time of the year in the northern hemisphere, that's the time you harvest barley, etc. Now, Eamon here has sent me a question. Well, he's telling me off, really. Eamon is a former postmaster from Manchester, and he says, I challenge your comments on your last vlog. I would think that would be in my last vlog, where you stated prices charged for postage vary from one post office to another. This is incorrect, as there are standard rates printed for all UK post offices. Well, Eamon, I will say you're probably correct, and so there should be, but in practice, I can honestly tell you that I get charged different prices for the same package of the same weight to be posted both in the UK and abroad. And another example I can give is that several fans will send a stamped addressed envelope with a recorded delivery sticker on it. So I actually have to physically go into the post office to send it back to them. And very often I'm then told, oh, well, the postage paid is too much. I'm going to have to give you change. And in some cases, is that the difference can be as much as 50 pence, which is quite a lot, actually. And I initially used to say, well, I didn't pay for it. It was, a fan of mine paid for the postage. But they said, well, we have to give you back the change, otherwise our tills won't balance. The problem they had is they didn't know how to do it. You see, pre-technology, things to make things easier for us, you just put your hand in the till and give the right change or the right refund. It's very simple then. Anyway, let's not go down that road. I know I've got silver hair and probably think I'm an old fogey. Right, what I will say, Eamon, as well, you will be aware of something like this. Dun, dun, dun. This is a universal postal coupon, and it is worldwide. It's used, and just to show you, there you go, there are all the instructions and comments in various languages across the globe. And in English it says, this coupon is exchangeable in any country of the Universal Postal Union for the minimum postage for an unregistered priority item or an unregistered letter sent by air to any foreign country. And that's what it is, and it's very good. And I get quite a few of these, only I found post offices in the UK know what they are, but they always claim they haven't got the facility to actually process it. So you say you're a former postmaster. I don't know if you've retired or what, but if you're in a position to sort of nudge the post office people and the powers that be, it would be quite useful to put that right. But there we go. All right, so that's Eamon. I hope I've answered your question there. And here we got Davinia in Wisbeach. What does Davinia say? Now, she says, I've enjoyed the Paralympics from Tokyo enormously, but get annoyed when some competitors are not given an equal chance. For example, in the swimming, can it be fair for swimmers with no arms to be against those with 2 arms? Okay. Now, the only thing I would say, I've thoroughly enjoyed the Paralympics. I think it's been wonderful. I think it's wonderful that we came second to China. And of course, if you think about it, China has 1 billion population and more. And so the Great British team, the GB team, is from a population much, much less than them. And they've done extremely well. So, top hat to them, right? But I understand what you mean about it seeming unfair. And a few years ago, I would have probably agreed with you. But the Paralympics is relatively new. I think the first time it was actually in Tokyo in 1964. So each time there's a Paralympic Games, the rules change and processes have changed, and the organisers are trying to make things much fairer than they have been in the past. And my understanding, it all depends on what sort of disability you have, and for each disability, points are deducted from a certain figure. Let's just say, for example, it's in percentage terms. For each disability, you get a 5% discount, as if it were, and then ultimately, when you add up your discounts, whatever your figure is, you're then put into a certain category and group. It does visually look a bit odd at times, but then what that highlights, of course, is judging people by how they look. I mean, there's some people with disabilities that you actually can't really see. Now, this brings me on to a little something. I'm in the process with a production team. We're putting together a documentary about disability awareness. Rocking Horse Films are following them around. They're not with me this afternoon, but it's a fly on a wall documentary. They're following somebody with mobility issues and seeing how they cope with life. So watch this space. I will tell you more as it develops. Okay, Julian Chicago. What are your thoughts about anti-vaxxers? Yes, this happens all the time. We hear it all the time. Anti-vaxxers this, anti-vaxxers that. Well, first of all, I think we need to qualify what is meant by an anti-vaxxer. Because really, in today's climate, it's just assumed that they're anti the COVID vaccine. But to me, the term anti-vaxxer must really apply to those who are anti any vaccination. They don't have any vaccination whatsoever. So that's a certain group, and that's fine. So we can accept that's where they stand. If then you do take flu jabs, for example, and other jabs, to not take the COVID jab means that you're anti the COVID vaccine for whatever reason. I'm not going to challenge anybody really. Tony and I have had our vaccines. Yes, the second jab, we did have an extreme reaction, but it only lasted about 10 days. And all I can say is my understanding, and I think the majority understanding, is the vaccine's there not as a cure, but to avoid, should you unfortunately get COVID, a dramatic end, i.e. you're less likely to have to go to hospital and you're less likely to die if you've had your jabs. And that's all it is. It's protecting people, and in doing so, the more that we can get past it quickly, the faster the crisis, inverted commas, will disappear. But I'm a firm believer that COVID's going to be with us for a very, very long time, and it'll be rather like the flu. And how many of you get a reaction when you have a flu jab? I don't every year, but I know some years I do get a reaction, and I don't know why. So answers on a postcard, please. Right. I hope that's enough for you this time round. If you've got any other questions, please send them to me on either my Facebook or via my website, which is fisher-becker.info. Fisher-Becker.info also will guide you to all sorts of other things that I'm doing at the moment. So all I'll say until then, have a jolly good time. Keep safe. If you can't keep safe, be sensible. And let's just love each other a bit more.